Okay, this next unit that we're going to be taking a look at is called statistics, where we can see that statistics is the name given to the branch of applied mathematics concerned with the collection, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. The collection of data by various methods has been covered in previous math courses. Data can be collected from a population or from a sample population. Once the data has been collected, it can be analyzed in a variety of ways. In previous courses, we've typically used some sort of average value. For example, when students receive their unit test marks, they often ask the teacher, what was the class average? So, the way we can look at this is using the measures of central tendency. Once the data has been collected, it's useful to be able to describe data by one single central value, whether that happens to be an average, whether that is the median, or whether that is the mode. So we have, in previous courses, studied three different types of central value or average: the mean, the median, and the mode, which are all measures of central tendency. When we're talking about the mean, that is the most common one that we use. The mean of a population is denoted by the symbol mu, and you're going to see that on your formula sheets as well. It's that special looking M, which is called mu. The mean of a sample is denoted by X with a line over it. That's how in most of your calculators it's going to appear, not as the symbol of mu, but as the X with a line over top of it. The mean of a population and the mean of a sample are both calculated using the same method, and the mean is calculated by adding all the values together and dividing by the number of values. So that's typically what we mean when we say average. The median is determined by sorting the data into numerical order. If there is an odd number of data values, the median is just going to be whatever the middle value is. So it's not actually the average, it's just listing out all of the numbers that came up and then finding the number that came up in the middle. So if I had 11 numbers that came up, then the sixth number, once I put them in order, is going to be what that is, even if whether or not that is close to or far away from what the mean is. If there is an even number of data, the median is the average between the two middle data values. So if I had 12 pieces of data, then I'd look at the sixth and seventh one, I'd add them together and divide by 2 and find the halfway point between the sixth and the seventh piece of data. The mode is the value which occurs the most often, or has the highest frequency of occurrence. It is possible to have multiple modes or no mode at all. So if I had a list of numbers and I had 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, and 6, then in this case my modes would be 3 and 5. They both occurred 3 times. If 3 had only occurred twice, then my mode would just be 5. It would be the number that specifically came up the most times. So if we put this into examples, then we're going to say that the data below represents the time taken to the nearest minute for high school students to drive to school on each of the last 10 days of school. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate the mean driving time, which means that I'm going to say that mu, which is the mean, is equal to all the numbers added together, 11 plus 10 plus 19 plus 16 plus 15 plus 14 plus 13 plus 12 plus 17 plus 15. And I'm going to divide that by how many numbers there were. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. Which means that mu is going to equal, well, when I add all these together, I get 142 divided by, there's 10 pieces of data. My mu is going to equal 14.2 minutes. If I'm stating the mode of the data, well, 11 only shows up once, 10 shows up once, 19 once, 16 once, 15 shows up twice, 14 once, 13 once, 12 once, 17 once. The mode is going to equal 15 minutes. 15 is the only number that occurs more than once. Okay, for the second example, Hideki's unit test marks in English 20 and Math 20 are given below. For English 20, you got a 67, a 71, 58, 78, 65, 80, and 78. In Math, he got a 74, a 78, a 61, an 86, an 84, and a 72. Well, if we want to calculate his median mark, then the first thing we have to do is we need to rearrange all these numbers into numerical order. So for English, I'm going to start with the lowest one, 58. Then I'm going to go up to 65, 67, 71, 78, 78, and 80. For Math, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to go 61, 72, 74, 78, 84, and 86. In English, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 marks. And the median is going to be the middle one, so the fourth one that occurred. For English 20, his median is 71. For Math, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks. So there is no middle number. It would be in between these two numbers. So for Math, his median is going to be halfway in between these two numbers. So 74 plus 78 divided by 2. And he's going to have a median of 76 that occurs between those two numbers. For example 3, it says if the mean or the average of the data 10, 4, 7, 12, 9, 4, x, 6 is 7, then find the value of the data. Well, if mu is equal to the sum of all the numbers divided how many there are, then in this case, I'm given mu. Mu is going to equal 7. Has to equal 10 plus 4 plus 7 plus 12 plus 9 plus 4 plus x plus 6, all divided by, well, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers here. Which means that 7, when I add up all the numbers that I can see here, is going to equal 52 plus x divided by 8. Well, I'm going to multiply both sides by 8, and 56 is equal to 52 plus x, and then subtract 52 from each side. 4 is equal to x. So my missing number in this case is just going to be 4.